Hello and welcome to Blank Plate, a podcast for Swifties with an appetite.
I'm Sarah, and I used to be a little kid with glasses in a twin-size bed.
I'm Laura, and I'm a mess, but I'm the mess that you wanted.
And we've got a blank plate, baby, and we'll write your name.
I'm back, baby.
Laura's back on camera.
It's like riding a bike.
Yeah, well, thank God we've been doing some Patreon episodes while you've been gone. But it's our first time, main pod, having to
gotta look presentable.
Look normal on camera kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, welcome back.
Thank you. Yeah, so Sarah and I have been sharing Patreon episodes. So if you're a Patreon subscriber, you may have forgotten, but I've been on maternity leave. Getting into what's been on our plates this summer, I've been on maternity leave. So Sarah and I batched a bunch of episodes before, obviously, I gave birth. We planned on having sort of like a spring where Sarah was doing some fun interviews with some guests, which hopefully you've listened to.
Mm-hmm.
And so while that was going on, I gave birth to my son. Theodore Franklin Topping was born March 20th, 2026 at 5:46 p.m. on the first day of spring.
Mm.
And if you're woo-woo or astrology at all, the kind of most beautiful thing about it, that birthday is he literally is the perfect mix of Luke and I's astrology. He is
right between your two birthdays.
Yeah, so Luke's birthday is February, his is March, and then mine is April. So
yeah,
it's very aligned. I am obsessed, obviously.
Right.
The first few months were extremely hard. I had a baby who did not sleep other than on our chests. So, I was just up. I think the hours I was up during a typical day was from midnight to about 7 a.m. was my shift. And then there were a couple weeks where I would nap and then reemerge. But then Luke had to go back to work. So I was up from midnight to about, 5 p.m. the next night. So
right.
It was rough. It was rough. So thank God for my parents who are retired and basically were my therapy, basically, to be able to talk to someone because, man, those nights were long. And thankfully, things have changed for the better. Knock on wood. We can't talk about sleep because if I talk about it, of course, it's not going to go well anymore. But he's sleeping better.
Yeah.
And I mentioned, I think briefly or very kind of casually on the podcast that there were some concerns that were going on during my pregnancy as far as genetic concerns. Those all have sort of come to be not a big deal or not existing at all, which is a miracle. We've had a lot of doctor's appointments to make sure that he's okay and he's hitting all his milestones. And it's just kind of all fell to the best situation possible. So
yeah, that's great.
Yeah, such a relief. Did not know what to expect, but thankfully we have a very quote unquote normal, healthy baby boy. Admittedly, my hormonal drops have been really intense. I didn't really know too much about these hormone drops that happen postpartum. I've obviously heard about postpartum anxiety, postpartum depression, postpartum rage. But I was never categorically suffering with that. It was more just these short spells that happen during certain months. And when your hormones basically just drop from this elevated state to a different place. And thankfully they pass within days or hours. So I've had some dark days, but nothing more than that. And thankfully Luke has been an excellent father, excellent partner, and just just like kind of knows how to talk me off of a ledge, basically. So,
Right.
and like, yeah, so I've definitely dealt with like bouts of postpartum anxiety the most and some
Mhm.
postpartum depression, but nothing that like categorically has been like, needed medication or I've
Yeah.
had to like seek help for. So all that
That's
to
good.
say, like it's been a roller coaster. And yeah, it's been like the most amazing bubble of just like being home and
Mhm.
making sure this baby stays alive. So
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah,
Well,
it's been great. And now I
mhm.
slowly am entering the real world again, including on this podcast and going back to
Right.
work.
Yeah, because you also went back to work this week, so you're
Uh-huh.
really jumping back in here.
Yeah. Thankfully, like he will have to go to daycare, unfortunately. Just the
Mhm.
reality of where we live. But he won't start daycare until like a month or so from now. Actually, a little bit
Mhm.
over a month from now.
Okay.
So Luke has an extended paternity leave. So like that makes the transition a little bit easier
Mhm.
because like I know he's with Luke and I know Luke knows how to take care of him and obviously Luke is
Yeah.
not a stranger and doesn't know him super, you know what I mean?
Right.
So yeah, I feel like I have like a soft launch into reality, which has been
Right.
really nice.
Yeah,
Um,
that's good.
but yeah, like that's where I've been. And I cannot tell you how boring, but also busy it is.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I was feeling like, I was like, why is this the most like boring couple of months, but also like the busiest months of doing nothing? Like, what
Right.
did I do today? I did nothing, but I did like not have a second to myself. So it's,
Right.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Well, it seems like you're doing a great job getting through, you and Luke.
yeah, yeah.
So, and we're glad to have you back here on the pod. Sure everyone
Thank
has
you.
missed you,
Thank you. Thank you. I'm excited to
you
be
know.
back. I feel like it gives my brain a nice little like creative thing to do to think about during the day and like add little notes on and put my
Mhm.
headphones on and escape to the world of Taylor. So
Right.
yeah. So
Good.
yeah, that's what I've been up to. Just, raising
Yeah.
a baby.
Pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Uh, well, while you've been busy doing that, I've also had kind of like a crazy few months.
You have.
Because, like, it must have been like right after we stopped recording main pod episodes back in March. My car, my car did not die because it's a champ, but I found out I
That
needed a
Prius
new car.
baby.
Yeah, I had to buy a new car because the only car I've ever owned, which I had for 14 solid years, over 14 years, I found out it needed a new engine.
Mhm.
And that's not something you do with a car that's 14
Uh-uh.
years old. Well, actually it was a 2010, so it was 16 years old. And, its time was up. It was
Yep.
time to put her down,
Yep.
and that was very sad for me. I get so attached to like homes, apparently my car. I was like, this is the longest relationship I've ever had. But yeah, it was the only car I'd ever owned. I passed that car on to the junkyard with 310,000 miles on it.
Dude, that car did you so right.
I know. I know.
Seriously.
And
You
I
got
had
your wear out of that girl. Yeah.
and it was paid off since January of 2017.
That's what I'm saying, man. Yeah.
Yeah. It was a great car. So, yeah, I had a 2010 Prius. I bought it when it had 30,000 miles on it. And I
Look
drove
at
that
us
thing
now.
everywhere.
Yeah.
Literally everywhere. All
Yep.
over the East Coast. It's been to Florida twice. Like, yeah.
Ohio,
Ohio so many times,
New
upstate New
York.
York,
Yeah.
Philadelphia, like,
Yeah.
yeah, so, like, end of March or mid-March, whatever, in the same week that I bought a new car, I listed my house for sale.
Big changes. Big
Yeah.
changes.
I
Yeah.
don't like, astrology in my chart must have been going crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so my house in Lebanon that I owned before I moved here to Allentown. When I moved here 2 years ago, I originally rented it out, and then my tenants moved out at the end of November, and I was like, "I'm done with this."
Yeah, you were in
And
a terrible situation with that. You basically were in a rock and a hard place. You had to make the decision, basically. It just
yeah,
wasn't yeah.
it literally was just not worth the effort to have it as a rental property, and since it is an older row home, it's from, like, 1895. When you really think about some of the maintenance that that house needed, I was like, "This house
Mhm.
is not even paying for itself." And, like,
Mhm.
we have an old house here in Allentown, and I was like, "No, I really just need to get rid of this and, like, take a lump sum of money to, like, put in the bank." So, yeah, I listed it this same week I got a new car, and then it didn't sell. It was like, thought, "This thing's gonna sell immediately." The house next door had literally just sold, like, in the time that I was, like, getting it ready. But I really feel like a lot of it had to do with, like, I listed it, I swear, like, right when gas prices just
Yeah.
climbed. And all of a sudden, everyone's like, "Whoa," like, "We're
Yeah,
afraid to
everybody
spend
got
money,"
freaked.
like, being really careful about what kind of house they buy. And unfortunately, because I fixed up my house before listing it, it was, like, the most expensive of its
Mhm.
category in the
Mhm.
Lebanon city housing market. So, I got I got a couple offers on it that I turned down because I was
Yeah.
like, absolutely not. Um, I did have one offer that I accepted, and then 3 days later, it fell through because they had
Right.
an issue with their financing, had
It's
nothing to
not
do
like
with
your
the
house just, like,
house.
sat there and nobody was interested. It's just that there
Right.
were a lot of things that just didn't pan out.
Yeah. So then finally, this angel arrived in June and put an offer on it that I liked, and I accepted it. But then it was another, like, almost 2 months of
Yeah.
craziness because she had special financing that required extra steps, and it was an FHA loan, so I had to do like FHA specific repairs. So I'm like doing more repairs to the house, and while doing that, the big AC unit broke, so I'm dealing with that. Just like
Nonstop.
I was so done. But thankfully, exactly a week ago as of this recording, I sold the house. We settled, it closed. I'm also very happy because the house went to someone who really needs it, will really appreciate it, and will be living there. Like, it's not an investor,
Mhm.
it's someone who's going to live there with her family. So I'm happy about that. I'm like, you know what? It was worth it to go through all this crap to sell the house to the kind of person I wanted to sell it to anyway. So it really worked out for both of us. So thankfully, that is taken care of. But also in the midst of all of this, I had my third embryo transfer at the beginning of June, and I did get pregnant. Like the first time I've ever been like genuinely pregnant in a way that felt exciting and hopeful and real. And I lost that pregnancy around the like 6-week mark in June. And obviously, like, it's just really, really hard. I knew I was gonna cry today, so hi, this is me. And Laura knew I was obviously getting into all this, but like
Yeah.
I've talked about before how like this whole like IVF infertility journey feels like climbing a trauma mountain, and I'm continuing to climb it. Like this summer has really felt like the darkest time in everything I've gone through so far. And yeah, I don't really know what to say except that it sucks so much. My heart goes out to like anyone who has experienced this on any level. I was I don't know. It was just such a whirlwind.
Mhm.
Just to give context, my embryo transfer was on June 1st. I found out I was pregnant on June 10th. On June 18th, I woke up bleeding at 3:30 in the morning. I did everything I could to remain calm because bleeding in early pregnancy is extremely common. And so that morning we went in for blood work and ultrasound to check on things, and it was inconclusive. So then I had to wait 4 days to find out what would happen, come back for more blood work and ultrasound. And of course, that the 4 days of waiting landed perfectly over my birthday weekend. And my birthday was on Father's Day. So then I went in the day after my birthday, that Monday, the 22nd. The ultrasound was again inconclusive, which was more concerning than the last time. Because the thing with where I was in my pregnancy, it was kind of like too early. Like I wasn't supposed to have my first ultrasound until that Monday, the 22nd, because they don't expect to see much until that point. So when I went in 4 days before that, they're like, well, we don't see what we want to see, but it might just be too early to see
Right.
that, you know? So yeah, that Monday morning, the ultrasound again was inconclusive. But then my blood work came back and that confirmed that I had lost the pregnancy because you're looking at the
Yeah.
HCG pregnancy hormone and it had plummeted. And when you want to see it like doubling.
Right.
So when that came through in my portal and I saw my blood test results, that's the moment that I'm like, that's the moment that's like burned in my brain. Like I just
Yeah.
started sobbing and like immediately called my mom. And like, I know that miscarriages happen all the time, but for some reason, this just like completely caught me off guard. Like,
Yeah.
I think a lot of it is because my initial HCG numbers were like really, really strong. So,
Yeah.
like, everything pointed to this being a strong, healthy pregnancy. And then to have it just suddenly disappear with no real explanation.
Explanation. Yeah.
Yeah, it was awful. Absolutely awful.
And I want to just remind everyone this happened over Sarah's birthday weekend.
Yeah.
Okay. And you also, the last time you had your transfer was over the holidays.
Yeah. Christmas.
So I'm
Right
just
on Christmas.
saying, whoever's in charge of planning these things needs to get their act together
Yeah.
because
Hmm.
I will fight you.
Yeah, I'm going to make sure the next
It's
transfer is
like,
not around Christmas or my
seriously,
birthday.
it's so emotionally charged already.
Yeah, it is.
It's, yeah.
So, yeah, I had a really good meeting with my doctor. She sat down with me for an hour and a half. We talked about all of the questions that I had and the
Hmm.
research I'd done myself, and we ran some blood work that they do for recurrent pregnancy loss because I've now technically lost 2 pregnancies in a row, but that all came back normal. And then last week, I had a test to look at my fallopian tubes because we hadn't looked at my fallopian tubes before because honestly, we weren't using them.
Right.
So I didn't need to see if they were like open or anything, but we decided to check them because sometimes they can be damaged and then leaking toxic fluid into your uterus, which can cause pregnancy loss. So I was like, okay, let's take a look. If we
Hmm.
have to take them out, we'll take them out. Well, unfortunately, they looked fine. So
Right. It's like
again,
you're getting good news, but the good news isn't good news because it's not
yeah.
giving you answers, which is
Hmm.
like, I've never had a miscarriage, but I think most, I mean, obviously the disappointment is unreal, but also just like the lack of, like, it's like so inconclusive. There's no answers. There's nothing that you did. There's nothing
Right.
that your body did. So it's like you're just
Hmm.
constantly hunting for like a reason
Yeah.
and there isn't a lot of the time. And that's really frustrating.
Yeah. I know a lot of people who go through IVF have unexplained infertility, and
Mhm.
they feel this in many ways with that. And that's one thing I've always been grateful for is that I have very explained
Right.
infertility. We know exactly why I'm infertile. But now where I'm at this place where I have unexplained pregnancy
Pregnancy
loss,
loss. Yeah.
and it appears that the only explanation we have is pointing back to my uterus just being like strange from endometriosis. But it's strange in a way we don't understand and don't have a way to fix for it aside from everything I'm already doing.
Right.
So now it's terrifying for me in knowing that going into my next embryo transfer, we're doing basically the same stuff,
And just
which
hoping.
means
Right.
there's a good chance that the exact same thing could happen again. Whereas, like, let's say my fallopian tubes had looked bad and I had surgery to remove them. I could go
Right.
into the next transfer thinking, like, well, hopefully that was the cause
Right.
and hopefully this round will be better.
Right.
But now I just have to hope that the next round will be better.
Yeah.
So, one thing we are doing that is a little different is that I'm temporarily doing a GLP-1 for like probably like 4 months. And that is to help me lose some weight, address inflammation and high cholesterol and insulin resistance. All things which are side effects of my early menopause, which
Mhm.
is also caused my infertility. So my doctor described it as giving me like a fertility boost, especially the insulin resistance, because that can affect pregnancy. So if we can, address that factor a little bit, that could hopefully give me a little bit of an edge.
Mhm.
So that's where I'm at currently. I've been on that for a few weeks now. So dealing with side effects from that. Like, can I just say, I am so tired of dealing with side effects.
Yeah.
Like, absolutely, like, it's just crazy. Like,
Yeah, your body has been through it.
the week before my house actually sold, I finally hit a wall with my life. I was like ready to yeet myself into space, like, genuinely. And thank God I'm going on vacation in like a week and a half because I was like, I desperately need a vacation. I was thinking about it like, it's like honestly, like my day to day life is not stressful. I work from home. My job's super chill. Like I don't have kids. Like I my life is chill. But my mental load for the last 2 years has
Yeah.
just been off the charts, and it finally caught up with me with my house sale and then like still the grief of my miscarriage. And I was also adjusting to my GLP-1, and I had just gone back on birth control like in like
Yeah,
the
like
same week. Like, I was like, "I'm tired of side effects. I'm tired of dealing with all this stuff." Like, I'm just over all of it.
yeah.
So thankfully my house is sold, so that's one thing off my list, but, like, I'm just I'm yeah, this is the first time I've really hit a wall, and I'm like, I need a break. I need
Yeah.
to just go sit on the beach and just, like, escape my life for a little bit. But, yeah, it's just a lot, and the other thing that's annoying about all of this is like, well, for one thing, I don't want to have my next transfer at Christmas.
Yeah.
So
Please.
I'm looking at like probably January, February. But like I'm doing the GLP-1 for like 4 months, but you also have to be off of that for 2 months before a transfer. So we're talking 6 months. So now I know for a fact that I will have had one chance to be pregnant in 2026. That's it.
The, like, mental math that you do for
Yeah.
yeah.
The mental math is crazy. Yeah, and that's why, like, with this whole, like, infertility world, everything is so relative. We all have our own little pockets of, like, stuff that we're dealing with, And especially when you think about, like, a good example is people with secondary infertility, which is where you have one child, but then you
Right.
struggle with infertility trying to have another child. So people like me find it very hard to relate to those
Right.
people, right? Doesn't mean that their experience is invalid or their grief or their, struggle. But from where someone like me sits,
Right.
I try to avoid that content because I'm
Right.
like,
You're
I
like,
don't.
and block. Yeah.
But like another example of this for me is when I see posts of people like trying to conceive, dealing with infertility, and they're like, every month when you get your period, or like you like see a negative on the pregnancy test, and I think, oh, every month, oh, that must be nice. Oh, you didn't get one chance to get pregnant in the calendar year? You got to try every natural cycle that your body had, you know? So that's one thing that pisses me off. But
Yeah. Well, you're allowed. So
yeah, I got to allow myself these things.
I think you have to allow yourself a lot of rage, a lot of
Mhm.
sadness, a lot of grief, and
Mhm.
also just allow yourself to just be pissed. Like,
Mhm.
whenever, like, as a friend, as a bystander to your experiences with infertility and IVF or whatever, like,
Mhm.
I feel like I'm always like, be hopeful, be hopeful. And like, I'm realizing that I need to just not say those sort of things because, like, you need to live your experience the way that you need to
Mhm.
experience it. And it makes sense if you're not hopeful, of course.
Yeah.
But I also feel like when things don't pan out, my reaction is I'm pissed for you. And I feel like
Yeah.
there's a lot of people in your life that are like mad. Like, it's not fair. I just, like, legitimately, I feel my body just, like, get, like, simmering with anger because it's just not right. It's just not right. It's just not right.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's hard to know what to say or what to do because obviously, like, what can I do?
Right.
But just be, like, pissed at the world and just be like, "I'm here," you know?
Well, and I'm trying to remember like all the things I wanted to say about this, and that reminds me, you know how like the standard is typically like wait until like 12 weeks to tell
Mhm.
people, because once you hit that 12-week mark, you're much less likely to lose the pregnancy. And I totally understand that. And honestly, like I probably wasn't going to share publicly until
Mhm.
closer to like 12 weeks. But being in my situation with IVF, I do have a fairly large like inner circle
Yeah,
that
who know?
knows.
Right.
They know when transfer day is. I texted them as soon as I knew I was pregnant, and then I even, all those same people got updates like, hey, I might have lost this pregnancy.
Right.
I'll find out next week, but like, please keep me in your thoughts and like stuff like that. And honestly, like, to then have to tell all those people that I did lose the pregnancy honestly didn't bother me at all. Like, I know some people would really struggle with that, and
Yeah.
this is like a totally personal decision, but it didn't bother me at all to do that. And then it was so nice to have so many people just supporting me.
Yeah.
And like, like you were obviously a huge one, but I had a lot of people who were like, you know, I understand if you don't want to talk about it, or like, I'm just checking in, like, see how you are, or whatever, like, or saying things like, I don't know what to say or what to do. And it's like, honestly, just texting me is
Mhm.
exactly what I need.
Yeah.
And even like my mom at one point, she was like checking in a lot, and she's like, I'm sorry to like, I almost feel like I'm bugging you, but like, I just want to know how you're doing or whatever. And I was
Right.
like, no, I was like, honestly, like, anytime someone would text me, I was grateful because I'm like, well, thank God somebody else is thinking about this because it's all I can think about,
Right.
like, so for me, it was really helpful to
Yeah.
have a lot of people know. And, I had to like reschedule podcast recordings with like guests and,
Yeah.
like just take some time for myself. I took off of work and I told my
Right.
bosses what was going on. And, I just like it honestly feels so weird to me. Like recently Josh and I were at an event and someone who's more of like an acquaintance, was like, how have you been? Like, how's your summer been? How are you guys? And what I want to say is like, well, I had a miscarriage in June
Right.
and I think about it every day. And honestly, this summer kind of sucks. But instead you're like,
It
things
was good.
are
Yeah.
pretty good. We're doing all right. And you're like, no, I'm not okay. I'm not
Yeah.
all right. It has not been good.
Yeah.
So I always hate that kind of stuff. Like,
Yeah.
obviously, I'm not going to say that to someone who's an acquaintance. Like, had a miscarriage in June,
Right.
haven't been on vacation yet. How about you? What are you up to? But that's like how it feels. So I prefer to have, people who are close to me and who I trust to know
Mhm.
what's going on because it is hard and it's something that
Yeah.
you need support through it.
It's not something you should just carry by yourself. So,
Yeah. And I think too the fact that like all those people have been with me through my first two transfers, they know like they understand the weight of this
mhm.
and are grieving with me because they've been along for the ride with me.
Mhm.
Like I was talking to one of my other friends about this recently, saying how like I feel like if someone does have a pregnancy loss and they haven't been super open, or maybe people in your life didn't even know you were trying or whatever. It's like if you then mention it to them, I feel like it almost doesn't get the weight that it deserves because
Mhm.
that person can't quite put themselves in your shoes. It's kind of
Right.
like, oh, like, I'm really sorry to hear that, as opposed to someone who's been like getting all the updates from me the last 2 years
Right.
to then like understand really where I'm at with
Right.
this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, just to kind of wrap this up, uh, we currently have one embryo left from our batch because, reminder, we had to use donor eggs. So we had to purchase eggs and we were lucky enough to get 4 embryos, which we were hoping would get us 2 children. That's not happening. So we have one embryo left. And if that one doesn't work out, which let's be honest, odds are that it won't, then we now have 0 embryos. And because we're doing donor egg, that means we need to start over with more donor eggs.
Mhm.
And that is another reason why I sold my house, because we will probably need that money to keep going.
Yeah.
And I am so thankful that I even have that option. Like, that is
Yeah.
absolutely mind boggling to me because we've already spent a fortune to get to where we are, which is no
Yeah.
baby and I'm not pregnant. And yeah, to keep going, we would have to spend like that same amount again, which is crazy. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I feel very fortunate that it's even an option. I did not want to be in that position, but I do try to keep reminding myself that I'm lucky to have the options that I have. And if we do end up having to keep going, like if our next embryo doesn't work out, we would be doing what is called like an assured refund plan that actually guarantees us a live birth or our money back. So the
Yeah.
other nice thing is knowing like that money is either going to get us a baby or we'll get that money back. So
Right.
there's literally nothing to lose. So
Right.
yeah, that's where we're at. But yeah, I just feel like really like I don't want to be like a Debbie Downer in this episode. Like coming back and like welcoming you back from maternity leave and stuff. But I also just want to like
Yeah.
be honest about where I am in my
Yeah.
life. And I mean, thankfully, I've dealt with depression and stuff for years now. So I think I'm pretty good about like just kind of rolling with it
Yeah.
and just kind of like, I feel like I'm able to just kind of recognize it for what it is, almost like a passing thought and like move on. Like you just are like, oh, I'm depressed today. Okay, that makes sense. Like I have a lot of reason to be depressed, both like
Right.
hormonal and circumstantial. But I'm doing my best to just like enjoy life. I'm trying to have like a lot of fun things on my calendar with friends, little things I can look forward to,
Yeah.
being active. And I will highly recommend, like this morning, I went for a run and I sprinted to Out of the Woods while crying.
Iconic. It's iconic.
I'm just like running through the park crying. I'm like, do you remember?
Yeah. I can imagine it in my head.
Yeah. So Taylor is helping me,
Yeah.
there's lots of good music out this year, which is great. Um,
Yeah, it's true.
but yeah, so that's where I'm at. It's gonna be uh, you know, just riding out the rest of this year,
Yep.
trying to like be healthy, prepare my body for the next round.
Yep.
You know, just trying to enjoy life
Yep.
while I can. So
Strongest person I know. So,
I wish I didn't have to be.
yeah, I know. I wish I didn't have to call you that. So,
I know.
it's
Yeah.
just true. So,
Yeah.
there are no words and there's nothing I could say or do to make it easier besides just be in your corner and
Yeah.
root you on.
And I
And
appreciate it.
yeah,
You and everybody else.
yeah,
So, but yeah, if anyone listening to this, if this resonates, please don't hesitate to
right.
like DM me on Instagram or something. I'm happy to talk about it. And I like this is my first time sharing publicly about my miscarriage. I haven't like said anything on social media or whatever.
Mhm.
But like I think it is really important to talk about because it's so common. I mean, like so
Yeah.
many friends we have experienced this in some
Yep.
capacity. It's super common. And
Yep.
but just because it's common doesn't mean that it's not excruciating
Right.
and painful.
Doesn't mean that we shouldn't talk about it. Right.
Yeah. It's like for exactly that reason I think we should talk about it.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyway.
Well, you mentioned good music coming out. So let's make a transition to some new album releases besides obviously I Knew It, I Knew You that have come out this
Right.
summer.
Right.
So like just as a reminder, Sarah's been like working really hard on YouTube content. We actually just crossed over the threshold to be monetized, baby.
Heck yeah.
Hey. um,
Making like $1 a day over there.
hey. But yeah, she's been sharing some like album reaction videos. So if you're not already watching, make sure that you do. But
Mhm.
yeah, like I think the big three for both of us is Noah, Olivia, and
Mhm.
Gracie. Although, like, for me, it's more of Olivia and Noah on heavy repeat. Gracie's
Mhm.
album kind of like puts me in a weird space. I
Yeah.
like I mentioned, my mental health is in a delicate place, depending on the day. So I feel
Mhm.
like I'm not really ready to like trip myself into having like a mental breakdown. So
Right.
and I'm also like so excited for this new Phoebe Bridgers album to come out tomorrow when as of
Wait, is
this
that
recording.
tomorrow?
It's tomorrow.
Oh.
However, I'm also mentally prepared for it to ruin me. So I'm
Yeah,
like,
I was gonna say, like, if you can't do Gracie, why are you excited for Phoebe?
well, I like the single Lost Boys. It's like very upbeat, it's like,
Is it?
Yeah. Yeah, it's fun. But I'm like, I'm afraid that I will have to like revisit it later because my mental health just
Yeah,
simply cannot
right.
contain. Like I can't do it.
Yeah.
So
Well, and so like I'm trying, I want to get into Phoebe. So I think I'm going to do kind of what you did with some of these albums where you did like a listening session and you journaled.
Mhm.
I want to do something like that rather than just like putting it on while I'm doing something else.
Have you listened to like Boy Genius?
Hmm.
Okay. Do you like Boy Genius?
Yeah, and I mean like I was listening to Phoebe's Apple Music playlist, like the Phoebe Bridgers Essentials
Mhm.
recently while I was cooking. And I'm like, I don't like dislike Phoebe, right? It's just
Mhm.
like she doesn't grab me enough.
Oh, I love her.
And this is where I think like I'm more Gracie, you're more Phoebe, you know?
Yeah.
Because I love the new Gracie album. All I understand, like, I can totally get why you were like, I'm in a weird headspace for this. Like, I'm not
Yeah.
doing it. But that's kind of how like Phoebe, I don't know. Like,
Well, Phoebe is like, are you kidding me? Like to the nth degree. Like she was the
right,
blueprint for like sad girl music.
right.
Like
Yeah.
yeah.
Even like for Gracie, like she's talked about
Yeah.
Phoebe being a huge influence. I think the issue for me with Phoebe is like compared to Gracie, I don't know if Phoebe does like melodies and certain things in a way that grabs my brain.
Oh, she like does it for me 1,000%
Right.
more than Gracie's music. Like Gracie
Yeah.
to
This
me
is
is
where
kind of
we're
like
opposite.
it sort of all sounds the same. Like sorry.
Right. And that's how I feel about Phoebe.
Yeah. See, like Phoebe to me is like singer, songwriter, sad girl core.
Hmm.
Like, oh, just like sometimes she writes a gut punching lyric where I'm like, why did your brain think
Yeah.
of that?
Well, that's
You
why,
know?
like, I tried to get into her, like, Christmas EP a few years ago,
No,
and I was like,
no,
oh,
no.
I, I had to delete the majority of it off of my Christmas
It's
playlist because
not a
I'm like,
no. Don't do that. Don't do that. No,
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 that was not for me.
no,
Not for
no.
me. Not at all. And I love a sad Christmas song, but
Yeah.
no, so that put like a really weird taste in my mouth. But
Anyway.
like I love like doing these like recently you and I did the Olivia reaction video
Mhm.
and then I did Noah and Gracie with Steph.
Mhm.
And I do feel like reacting and listening to music for the first time in that kind of format helps me.
Yeah.
It just like puts it in a special place in my heart, basically.
Right.
And you like take it in better. Like I've never been so intimate with a Gracie album as this one because I did the reaction video.
Right.
So that's why I want to give the Phoebe album that kind of treatment,
Have
you
you
know?
heard what she's doing for like listening parties, Phoebe?
Well, I just saw a TikTok before we came on. Some woman was at one last night and she
Yeah.
mentioned something about, I guess the song has voicemails. And she was
Yeah.
like, if you've ever had to grieve anybody, you're not going to be
Yeah,
okay.
that's why I like can't listen to
I
it.
don't
I'm
know
like
about this for you, Laura.
I can't do it yet. Nope, can't do it.
Yeah.
Not not ready, not mentally
Yeah.
prepared. But she's doing it in planetariums, which I think are so cool. Like the whole
Oh,
like
right. Yeah.
the whole thing is like she was doing like secret sessions basically in areas where like there were UFO sightings or alien sightings and
Yeah.
like there's this whole like space sort of like
Hmm.
theme, I guess. But yeah, her dad died. So it's
Like
mostly
since the
about
last album, like
mhm.
recently.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, also, did you know, because Lizzie McAlpine has a new album coming out.
Yes,
I
my
do like her
girl.
single. I like that single more than Phoebe's single.
I like both. So,
Yeah. But did you know that on whatever album Lizzie did after her dad died, she had a song about her dad that was like track 13.
mm.
So now every album of hers has to be at least 13 tracks long because track 13 will always be about her dad.
Aw,
Yeah. Isn't
that's
that sweet?
sweet. Yeah, that is sweet.
Yeah, so I want to try to get into the Lizzie album as well.
Yeah, me too. Definitely.
I will say the Ariana album. Here's the thing.
Okay, Arianators don't come for us, like, but Petal just doesn't do it for either one of us. We were texting about it.
Mhm.
Eternal Sunshine for me was so good. I loved Eternal
Yeah.
Sunshine. I enjoyed every single track. I thought as a like whole album, I loved it. I loved the vibe. I loved the branding. I loved the production, the Max Martin of it all. And
Mhm.
for this, I just feel like this is sort of like not giving me anything.
Yeah, I would
You
say
know?
I don't think it's bad. It's just like unremarkable for me.
Yeah. I mean, people are calling it like her angry version of Eternal Sunshine. Like she's like angrier, but
I
like
I guess.
I don't get any anger at all from it. So,
Yeah. Well, and I've listened to it quite a bit because in the last week or two I've been just putting the album on when I do my workouts, like when I'm
mhm.
lifting. And it's like I know the single, like I want to call it Hit Me Hard and Soft. What was the name of the first single?
Oh,
Hate That I Made You Love Me.
yeah.
That one. That one. And then I think like there are like two songs that stood out to me. One is Like I Do. That's definitely my
Mhm.
favorite. And then the one that comes right after it. But like honestly, I don't even know the titles of these tracks because I'm never
Yeah.
like listening to it. I'm like, ooh, what song is this? And then I look and have that happen several times where I'm like, oh, I really like that one. Like the rest of the album to me just all meshes together
Yeah,
as
it
like one
blurs
big
yeah, it
song.
blurs together. I agree. Yeah.
But I will say the other day when I was listening to it and I was really thinking about this, I still felt I like found myself kind of bopping along, kind of singing along. So I'm like, I don't like dislike it. There's no song in here I'm like,
It's
this
just
is a
that
bad song.
we're
I'm
very
just like,
blessed with Ariana, like, pop hits that, like, really
right.
hit, and I don't think there's any of that on this.
Yeah, I would
So,
say like probably my least favorite album of hers.
yeah, agreed. Hate to say it.
Yeah.
Hate to say it. Another hard left. What were our go-to summer meals?
I revisited a recipe that I used to make all the time, like a few years ago when I lived alone. And it's zucchini, basil, and Gruyere quesadillas.
Sounds so good.
And it's so simple. It's like you slice up your zucchini, you saute it, and then you just add that to
Mm,
a quesadilla with fresh basil and Gruyere, and it's so good.
that sounds delicious.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, of course, a classic summer BLT. This is the most I've been home for a summer, like,
Yeah.
ever.
Yeah.
Normally, I'm traveling. But, like, Luke got into, like, a focaccia phase, which, like, no complaints.
Like making it?
Yeah. Just, like,
Okay.
making the dough, dimpling that,
Yeah.
doing the olive oil. It was no complaints. So, like, we had a couple nights where he was just, like, basically, like, slicing up this focaccia, and we were having, like, focaccia sandwiches and dipping it in olive
Mhm.
oil. It's just delicious.
Yeah.
And then another little shout out I wanna say is the Allison Roman ricotta and pistachio cream cake.
You mean Molly Baz?
Oh, sorry, not Allison Roman, my bad. My bad.
Yeah.
Molly Baz, yeah.
Yeah.
I made this for my dad's birthday, and basically ever since then, like, people won't shut up about it, so
It is really good.
it is really good.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Alright, well, gosh, guys, it's almost an hour into recording.
This
Yeah.
is why we're not really doing Taylor updates. This was like
No.
personal updates.
Yeah,
We will do more Taylor updates going forward,
right.
catching up with everything.
Like, obviously, the wedding of it all, the Songwriter Hall of Fame of it all, like
Right. There's a lot going on. Oh, but I will say, did you see? I just saw this in the last hour. She was out in
in
London
London.
last night
Yep,
at like going through the same door that she went through like a year ago
yep.
or 2 years ago wearing plaid that was like kind of
Now
launching
she's wearing
showgirl era.
florals.
And she cut her hair. Did you see
Yeah.
that?
Well, to me, it just looks like she, like, doesn't have extensions in.
Well, but it's the shortest it's been in a long time. It's like
Yeah,
shoulder-ish length or like
yeah,
collarbone, which is that's something new. A
yep.
haircut always signals something.
Something's happening, you guys.
So maybe TS13, because she's wearing like a lilac dress with flowers.
She's been wearing a lot of florals, a lot of silk, a lot of flowers.
Right.
I was saying speculation TS13 is when we're going to get the wedding pictures. It's going to be like a bridal
Maybe.
album. And I feel like everyone's going to hate that, but I'm going to love it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
everyone's going to be like, oh my God, of course she's going to capitalize on her own wedding and make it all about her and her music. Like you already know that's what people would say.
Yeah.
Like,
I can't wait to be annoyed with everybody
I can't
on the
wait till the
internet.
next like tour, and I don't want to see any of y'all in the stadium. Okay? That's what I'll
Right.
say about that.
Right. So yeah, lots of stuff we'll get into more. We're waiting until we get actual like details about the wedding to really talk
Right.
about it. So hopefully we'll get some wedding photos.
Yeah. We'll probably have a whole wedding episode when so. Like
Yeah,
like we'll
that's
dedicate
the
some
plan.
actual time. Today we're talking about Toy Story 5, okay?
Right. We're going back in time
Yeah.
to June to talk about Toy Story 5.
Yeah. So we're doing I Knew It, I Knew You, which was released on the Toy Story 5 soundtrack on June 5th, 2026, written and produced by Taylor and Jack Antonoff.
Mm-hmm.
We were concerned about if Jack and Taylor were in a good place. I feel like those concerns are now no longer an issue.
Right.
Jack not only attended the wedding, we saw him leaving MSG, but they've also released new music together. So
Yeah, they're
there you go.
fine. Thank God.
Fountain, quill, or glitter gel pen? What did you say?
I said I think it's mostly glitter because this song is so like easy breezy.
Yeah, I said glitter, maybe like a dab of fountain pen.
Mm-hmm.
Just a dab, but mostly
Yeah.
glitter.
Yeah, mostly glitter. But
Yeah,
it's like country bop glitter.
right.
I mean, it is for a children's movie. So
Sure. It's not going to get, yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
As far as sister song and related album, well, for related album, we both said debut.
I mean, yeah, with
Country.
the country, the instrumentation, the like innocence of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I said similar, like the innocence of it all reminded me of like Never Grow Up, just like, the preservation of childhood innocence is
Yeah.
very heavily in this song. So
Mm-hmm. And I said Betty and Cardigan because for one thing, we've got like the harmonica and guitar. Like
mm-hmm.
it sounds a lot like Betty, but also like Cardigan. It's almost like if this song was paired with Betty instead of Cardigan,
Mm.
like being from Betty's perspective, if James wasn't such a jerk,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know?
Like he showed up at her party and she was like, I knew it. I knew you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I knew you'd come back to me
Hey, oh, yeah.
rather than him being like, oh,
Your
your
stupid
stupid
friends.
friends.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. I
Um,
like that.
yeah. So that's what I said.
Yeah. Okay. So personal associations with this song. This came out in the like very peak of me being like completely overwhelmed at home. So I was like,
Right.
I was so behind on everything. I did not know what was going on. I just knew that all of a sudden it was like TS5 was everywhere. And I was like, oh, we have a new song? Great. Like, there's no way I'm seeing this movie. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it makes me happy to have another Jack and Taylor collaboration. I feel like we're much overdue
Right.
after Showgirl was non-Antonoff. And I really love the acoustic version.
Non
So,
Antonoff.
yeah.
Yeah. So for me, this song is very bittersweet because this is my pregnancy song.
Right. This timing was, yeah.
Yeah. We were originally hoping to bring Laura back for this episode and I could announce my pregnancy. But
Right.
instead, you guys got a different story. But this song literally got announced at the exact moment of my embryo transfer.
Yeah. I
Okay?
remember that. I remember being like, this is like kind of weird timing once again.
Yeah, it was bizarre. So my embryo transfer was at 2 p.m. on June 1st. And her countdown started at like noon, right? That day. And I was like, this is going to end exactly when I'm getting my embryo transfer, which I, of course, took as like a good sign. I was like, Taylor
Right.
Swift is overseeing my embryo
Right.
transfer. But it actually was like perfect because so I was like in the room and my clinic does laser acupuncture immediately before and after transfer. So my transfer was actually technically at like 2:10, but 2 o'clock basically.
Mhm.
And so I get like all situated in my room and like Josh is there. I've got like my gown on, you know, and it was like 1:59. And at this point we knew an announcement was coming. We assumed what it was, but we didn't know, right?
Right.
So it's like 1:59 and I'm like, "Josh, hand me my phone." So I can like hit refresh.
Refresh. Yeah.
And then that exact moment, the acupuncturist walks in. So I have to hand my phone back to Josh. And the whole time they're doing the acupuncture, which only takes a few minutes, I'm kind of looking at him like, what is happening? Tell me what's happening. Because
Yeah.
he knew that he was in charge of like checking it and like telling me while I'm like laying in on my table or whatever. So as soon as the acupuncturist leaves, he's like telling me like, oh, it's a new song. But then it was great because embryo transfer day is so weird. It's like exciting and like whatever, but it's also like stressful and you're
Yeah.
supposed to have like a full bladder and like, so there's a lot going on. So I'm usually quite stressed. But it was amazing that like in between the acupuncturist and then when they actually come in like with the embryo and whatever, I was just like on my phone.
Yeah.
Like
You could be like, oh,
I was
yeah.
just like obsessing like, oh my God, it's a new song and like whatever. So it was a lovely distraction to calm my nerves
Yeah.
related to the embryo transfer. But yeah, so that was kind of cool. And then, a few days later, the song was released. I went for a walk that morning at the park right by my house and literally listened to the song on repeat for like half an hour.
Yeah.
And I was just like walking through the park, I'm like, oh, this is so nice. So I was listening to it like nonstop. And then the week that I was like actually pregnant and just thinking I was pregnant and that's how it was going to be, I had it on like nonstop.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I low key can hardly listen to it anymore.
Yeah. It's got a
So
bittersweet. Yeah.
yeah, I do still love it though, but I like if I was still pregnant right now, I'd probably be listening to it once a day or
Right.
something. Like I really love this song. But yeah, it's got some kind of
It's
weird
got some
memories for me
tied
now.
memories to it. Yeah.
Yeah. But I did see the movie.
I have not. So you're going to have to fill in a lot of gaps here because I have no idea.
Well, honestly, like I saw the movie and then this is the end credit song. And the whole time I'm watching the movie and then at the end I'm like, what exactly is she trying to say? So I don't think you're too much worse off than
Okay,
me.
good. All right, good. All right. Because, like,
Like
I know she's explained it, but, like, obviously I've never seen the movie. I don't know the plot. I don't know. Yeah. So,
I'm pretty sure it's like, you know, the movie centers mainly on the character Jessie and then like her child,
mhm,
Bonnie or whatever. And there is a moment where Bonnie kind of rejects Jessie
mhm.
for she has her reasons, right? And then they end up coming back to each other. So I think it's more like that. Whereas I
Okay.
think going into this, we all thought it had more to do with like Jesse's original owner.
Right.
And there is like a little bit of storyline that you could also so it's like you can kind of take this song however you want, even within the context of the movie itself.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
But I
All right.
I did love the movie though. Like Josh and I had rewatched all of them before we saw it. And I like Toy Story 5. Like I would put it on par with Toy Story 1. Like
Mhm. Wow.
those are my top 2. To me, it felt like it had more of like a lightheartedness to it that was more similar to the first one,
Mhm.
as opposed to like 2, 3, and 4 have like darkness to them, I feel like. Especially 3.
Especially
I don't like
3.
3.
Yeah.
3 can go away. I don't want
Yeah.
that one. But yeah, I saw this movie the weekend it came out, which was my birthday weekend. So that was
Yeah.
one of the things I did to like have this fun day
Distract.
and distract
Yeah.
myself.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would definitely watch the movie again.
I
I think you should
will
watch it
watch
at
it.
home.
Yeah, I will watch it for sure at home. At some point. I've no doubt. I will probably do the same thing with watching all of them in succession. So yeah.
Yeah, it's fun.
The Toy Story world is just so good. Like
Yeah,
Pixar really knocked it out of the park when they did
yeah,
Toy Story. Like, come on.
they really did. And
Like
the
they
fact
really
that
did
they've been
cook.
coming out for 30 years,
I know.
that's
Seriously.
crazy.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
speaking of the folklore of the song, so we were all sort of clued into the fact that maybe there was going to be a Toy Story related thing because on April 30th, a mysterious 48-hour countdown featuring clouds identical to those in Toy Story was posted on Taylor Swift's website.
For like
And
2 minutes, I
of
think,
course
if that.
somebody caught it.
Right.
and and then the teaser was like quickly deleted. Like nobody like if you went there afterwards it was gone.
Yeah.
But everyone was like, "What the heck was that?" And then shortly after, like everyone was speculating, and Pixar executives publicly stated that Taylor would not be involved in the film's ending song. But like we later know that people knew about the song, but like not that many. And then
Like,
also like
yeah,
they used a decoy song during the screening. So like even if you did see the whole movie, there was a different
right.
song at the end.
Very, very few people knew
Yeah.
that Taylor had done this.
Yeah.
So tons of people involved with the movie had no idea, and they had a decoy song that they used
Yeah.
to finalize the movie and do screenings and everything. Yeah, I think the first time anyone saw it with her song included was at the official premiere,
That's yeah.
including the
Telling you.
cast.
Yeah.
Like, they had
There's
no
like
idea.
like Taylor knows how to lock down a secret. Like we haven't seen any
Yeah,
wedding pictures. Like this, yeah.
right.
No one heard this song. Anyway.
Yeah.
So speculation continue to build because billboards displaying the initials TS were appearing across the United States. The track was officially announced on June 1st with a scheduled release on June 5th.
And the TS billboards, they had the clouds and then the
Mm-hmm.
TS in the Toy Story font. But all of us Swiftie knew, we all knew that this was about Taylor because the billboards did not say TS5. They did not have like the release date for the movie, but it was like clearly Toy Story, but only said TS, which stands for Taylor Swift. So
Yeah, sus. Then on June 5th, we get a post from Taylor saying, "It's a Toy Story. You knew it. My new original song, I Knew It, I Knew You, for Disney and Pixar's Toy Story 5 will be yours on June 5th. I've always dreamed of getting to write for these characters who I've adored since I was a 5-year-old kid watching the first Toy Story movie. I fell instantly in love with Toy Story 5 when I was lucky enough to see it in its early stages, and I wrote this song as soon as I got home from the screening. Sometimes you just know, right? You can pre-order now exclusively on my site and catch Toy Story 5 in theaters on June 19th.
yeah. And we were all kind of wondering, did she do that accidental countdown that initially happened on her website on purpose
Oh, yeah.
so that we would all say, I knew it?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. She also made a comment saying, writing this song felt like a musical departure and coming home at the same time. Creating something for Jessie was a new challenge and also felt like second nature all at once. And being a Toy Story kid from the age of 5 till now, it is an adventure I plan to be on to infinity and beyond. Yeah.
Cute.
So apparently she saw it in February
Yeah.
2026.
Yeah, she saw the movie in February after requesting an early screening because she's a massive fan of the franchise. So, like, think we all assumed that they approached her,
Yeah.
but I guess Taylor just has the ability to like request early screenings of things. And I would guess in her mind she was thinking like, I might want to write a song for this. Let me take a
Yeah.
look. So she loved it, and then she wrote the song that same day and then
Yep.
asked them if they wanted it, and of course they were like, "Duh, of course we
Yeah.
want it," or whatever.
It is crazy she wrote that so quickly. Like,
I know. So she shared a video from the day she wrote the song, And in the video, she says, been kind of a hectic day. And she's like at the like studio console, I think with her audio engineer.
Mm-hmm.
She said, at 11 a.m., went to go see Toy Story 5, got so inspired, got the songwriter zoomies, went home, wrote the end credit song for Toy Story 5. We have now produced it, and I'm doing vocals. It's 6:57 p.m. In 2 hours, Bob Iger and Tom from Pixar are coming to hear it. We have not recorded it yet. And I think this is one of the most fun days of my life.
Literally insane. That is literally insane.
Yeah.
So they had a 9 p.m. meeting.
Right.
And she would have like only had 8 hours basically because the
Her
screening takes 2
screening
hours.
would have ended around like 1. So that means she went home and wrote and recorded the song all in the span of like 8 hours.
Yeah.
That probably also doesn't count like mixing and like touch up work that, would have happened afterwards. But still, that's crazy.
Insane.
But also, like, why was she so rushed about it? Like, she could have had Bob Iger and Tom hear it the next day.
I don't know. I don't know. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, she also attended the premiere of Toy Story 5 and she performed You've Got a Friend in Me with Randy Newman, which was super sweet.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, the red carpet moment, she brought out a VHS tape of the original Toy Story and got the autographs from the cast. So she's like a true fangirl.
And she also performed I Knew It, I Knew You on piano, which was beautiful. So she was wearing like a yellow dress with flowers, some more florals and stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. All right.
All right.
Well, let's get into it. Yep. Here's verse 1.
I knew you through the days of the blades of the grass in summer. Parachutes for the free fall of being younger. I memorized the sound of your bare footsteps. Running wild, it's been a long time. Life has ways of leaving those days behind, but seeing you tonight.
So good. I knew you through the days of the blades of the grass in the summer. I mean, like, come on, Taylor poeticism, just like jumping off.
Right.
Also, like, that is so classic. I call it like Taylor iambic pentameter, like that speak singing, like da 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 da. Like,
yeah,
she does that a lot in a lot of her music.
Mm-hmm.
It's like so classic Taylor. Like if someone were to try to, like if AI were to replicate a Taylor Swift song, they would put that sort of speak singing meter rhythmic sort of like lilt in it, you know?
Yeah. Also with this line, I feel like I can immediately feel grass on my bare feet as a kid.
Yeah. 90s, the sprinklers, like the dew of the grass in the morning. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Parachutes for the free fall of being younger. And like, gosh, like Taylor she just like really understands how to illustrate the like beauty of childhood. So we have a couple things from 7. Here's one.
Please picture me in the weeds before I learn civility. I used to scream ferociously anytime I wanted.
Yeah, I love that line.
Yeah.
That feels like the free fall of being younger is like being able to just scream.
Yeah. No qualms. Just like no fear of judgment or, any of that. And of course, this line from 7 too is so good.
But I was high in the sky with Pennsylvania under me. Are there still beautiful things?
Yeah. Also, I realized that the imagery for this Toy Story song is of like the tire swing on the hill from Toy Story. And that is basically what I picture when I think of the song 7.
Yeah. Swinging on a tire swing. Yep. Like your feet are like in the sky, like, and you're just like leaning back and yeah.
Exactly. Like if I was going to do an illustration for the song 7, it would be like a tire swing like that from Toy Story mixed with like the Olivia Rodrigo album cover,
Yeah. Yeah.
like a kid who's like on it like that with like their head back.
Yep. That's
That
it.
would be 7.
Yep.
Mhm.
And another sort of song that illustrates like preserving like childhood innocence is this from Robin.
All this showmanship to keep it for you in sweetness. Way to go, tiger. Higher and higher. Wilder and lighter for you.
This is a song I can't listen to. So
I was thinking, okay, so I texted you earlier today because I was pulling all of our song
Yeah.
clips. I was like, I'm pulling the clips for today's episode and I am a mess. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was thinking, I was like, I bet Laura can't listen to Robin
I
these
can't.
days.
Can't do it. I can't do it. It's like too much.
But I was also thinking it is so funny to me how like the first time we heard Robin,
I
we
know.
were so exhausted because it
Yeah.
was the end of, the 31 tracks. We'd been at it for like 5 hours. And
Yeah.
we were just like, what?
What's
Like,
going on?
What is this song? And now even I like can hardly listen to this song
Can't.
without crying.
Yeah.
I
Nope.
love Robin now.
I love Robin.
It.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Anyway.
it's going to be lots of crying today.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a sound of your bare footsteps. Like that to me, like this line reminds me of the sound of like children, just like
Yeah.
toddling around on like hardwood floors, like their lack of coordination.
Right.
And like they
Yeah.
just like stomp and like run and like there's no like their pitter patter of feet.
Yeah.
And like I grew up in an old house outside of Harrisburg and they had these old like hardwood floors and I just like remember like tiptoeing on them in the morning when they were cold. So like and then like hearing my brother toddle, like I could hear my brother from upstairs. There was just like all the So
Yeah. I grew up in a heavily carpeted house, but I know exactly what you mean. But this is making me think of my nephew because my brother sent in a video recently of like my nephew like ran into his bedroom because they have one of those like cameras to watch.
Yeah.
Him. So it, like overlooks his bed. He runs into his bedroom and then he does this weird little like tippy tappy like spinning in circles thing and then he just like falls back on his bed. And I was like, what is he doing? And my brother's like, he's dancing. He does like a little dance before. So his version of dancing is basically just like stomping his feet really fast.
And then just being like, yep.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that's another really sweet line that goes along with like the blades of grass and just being
Free
barefoot.
fall. Yeah.
Free fall being younger, like just running wild. Like she says, the next line is running wild. It's been a long time. Life has ways of leaving those days behind.
Yeah, like growing up is inevitable. Like somehow the world makes us not children who have no fears and no worries.
Right.
Just takes that away from us. So
yeah. And it actually made me think of this line from All Too Well.
Time won't fly, it's like I'm paralyzed by it. I'd like to be my old self again, but I'm still trying to find it after.
Such a good line.
That might be my favorite Taylor Swift lyric of all time.
It's so good.
Like, I'd like to be my old self again, but I'm still trying to find it.
Yeah.
That is a lyric I think about way too often.
You're never going to find it. You can't go back. There's no going back. It's like, yeah.
No. But yeah, it's kind of like the opposite in a way, because in All Too Well, she's like, I want time to like move on so I can like get out of this place, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, but here she's saying life has ways of leaving those days behind. Like we can't get that childhood innocence back.
Nope.
We can't be that old self again.
Nope.
Like that's enough to make me cry right there.
Yeah, I know. Grown-ups hard, man. Yeah.
It's too hard.
I
Let's
know.
stop. Let's just stop doing it.
I know. All right.
Ugh.
Here's chorus 1.
I remembered I loved you. Came back when it mattered. I saw you standing there in the light of the window, wearing that same smile. Man, it's been a while, but I knew it. I knew you. I knew it. I knew you.
So fun.
Yeah, that production's just so fun.
So we end that first verse. She says, "But seeing you tonight," and then we go into, "I remembered I loved you."
Mm-hmm.
So it's like the character Jessie from Toy Story just needs to like see this person again to remember that she loved her. Like it's just like that instant. Like, oh yeah, I love you. You know?
Yep. Came back when it mattered. I saw you standing there in the light of the window, wearing that same smile. Man, it's been a while.
Mm-hmm.
It's that familiarity of like seeing someone after a while, and you're just like, time hasn't even passed because there you are. So
right. And Taylor loves to talk about light, for one thing. Like one example is the refrigerator light.
Yeah.
I didn't like pull any examples, but she talks about light all the time.
A lot, yeah.
Also, this is another line I can just like picture this in my head. There's something about this, about like the light of the window, someone smiling. Like there's something cozy about it, kind of like a coming home.
Yeah.
Which, you know, about to make us cry again, made me think of Eldest Daughter.
Is I thought that I'd never find that beautiful, beautiful life that shimmers that innocent light back, like when we were young.
I
just literally told myself to disassociate. I was just like, I was like, just look out the window and pretend like nothing's happening. I just told myself to dissociate.
I think it was when I was playing that clip that I texted you today.
Yeah, no.
I was just like sobbing.
Can't do it.
Eldest Daughter is a song that I have not listened to since.
Understandable.
I missed it.
Yeah, understandable.
Yeah, that one comes on. I'm like, nope.
Skip.
And if I'm just like absentmindedly listening to music in the background, Eldest Daughter starts, I'm like, roll it along. We're not doing that.
Understandable.
We're not doing that right.
Understandable. Mm-hmm.
Not doing that right
now. Okay, it's so funny that you pulled this clip from Cardigan because, like, I thought of Cardigan immediately when it's I knew it, I knew you. Like, my Taylor Swift lyric brain immediately goes to like, but I knew you dancing in your leave. Totally different. Yeah. But here, I'll play that really quick. This other I knew you.
But I knew you dancing in your Levi's, drunk under a street light. I knew you, hand under my sweatshirt, baby, kiss it better right. And when I felt like I was an old cardigan under someone's bed, you put me on and said I was your favorite.
It's so similar. The like, I knew you, you came back, you put me on and said I was your favorite.
Yep.
It is like this like darker romantic version of this song.
Very similar metaphorically. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Verse 2.
I knew you, all your blues like a mood ring changing colors. You did too. There were times we could fight like brothers. I watched you drive around the bend for what I thought would be the last time I saw my friend. But love has ways of bringing things back to life. All you said was hi.
That part at the end there when she says all you said was hi, that part makes me cry.
Yeah.
There's something so sweet about it.
There is. It's just like, to me, it's just like that familiarity of like knowing someone. Like, you haven't seen them in a while. Like, it's friendship, it's family. It's like, you know, all they have to do is say hi.
It's also the Taylor Swift delivery of it.
Yep.
She's doing that Taylor like emotive singing that she does so well.
Yep.
Yeah.
I knew you, all your blues like a mood ring changing color. Like, come on.
Yeah.
It's like all the highs and lows, like no matter where that person was, like I knew you. Like I knew every phase of you. You did too. Like
Right.
you knew me the same way.
Did you have a mood ring?
Oh, of course. Come on.
Me too.
We're early 2000s girls. We always had mood rings. Yeah.
And it was usually blue. Which
Usually
basically
blue.
just means that you're cold.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. I did love my mood ring.
Yeah.
There were times we could fight like brothers. So, like siblings, but not siblings.
Yep.
Go listen to Willing and Able by Noah Kahn.
Yeah. Yeah. I watched you drive around the bend for what I thought would be the last time I saw my friend.
This
But
part
love
is
has
so
ways of bringing
sad.
things back to life. It sort of reminds me of like the saying, it's like, there's like sayings like, you don't know when it's your last time that you do something,
Yeah.
until it like time has passed. Like there's a whole trend of like where parents are like, there was a day that I picked you up for the last time, but I didn't know it was the last time.
Right.
And now I am mourning that, like,
Yeah.
So it's so sad.
I know. But
Yeah.
Love has ways of bringing things back to life made me think of This Love.
This love is good, this love is bad, this love is a light back from the dead.
Such a good song.
Yeah. I like this verse a lot.
Me too. Let's skip to the Bridgie Bridge.
Yeah.
All right.
All the rivers I cried when we said goodbye, wondering if I'd made it up in my mind. But now you look me in the eye.
Okay, so when she said the rivers I cried when we said goodbye,
Yeah.
Immediately my brain just connected us looking up the word rivulets.
Right.
Because we were like, rivulets, what? Like,
Rivulets descend my plastic smile.
Right.
but like, that's like the poetic version of saying this, which is like
Right.
water leaking from your eyes, rivers. But she was like, rivulets. Yeah.
Rivulets descend my plastic smile.
Yeah.
And then another like tortured poets parallel here, wondering if I'd made it up in my mind immediately made me think of this part of I Can Do It With a Broken Heart.
I keep finding his things in drawers, crucial evidence I didn't imagine the whole thing, I'm sure.
Yeah, so good.
Like in the context of this song, just thinking like, did I make it up in my mind how close we were?
Right.
Like,
because obviously there's been some distance. Right, exactly.
Yeah. But now you look me in the eye.
Yeah.
And they're back together again.
Yeah.
So going into chorus 3 in the outro.
And you told me I loved you, came back when it mattered, I saw you standing there in the light of the window wearing that same smile. Yeah, it's been a while. Oh, wearing that same smile. Man, it's been a while. Wearing that same smile. Man, it's been a while. But I knew it, I knew you. I knew it, I knew you. Wearing that same smile. I knew it, I knew you. I knew it, I knew you. I knew it.
That one little guitar section in the background, I'm like, that's so Jack.
Yeah. The production is everything. I mean, and the instrumentation is everything. Like, I just feel like, well, first of all, there's so many delicious chord progressions that happen in this song that feel so Toy Story. Like, I don't know how to describe it, but that like ascending line is like very like, I don't know, friendly. It's also very like cozy. I don't know. It's just perfect. It's just
You
perfect.
talking about this one?
But love has ways of bringing things back to life.
There's something like very Carole King, like, I don't know, just like 90s. Yeah.
Yeah, like there's this song, I feel like it feels both retro and modern at the
Yes.
same time,
Mm-hmm.
which I think has a lot to do with the Jack Antonoff touch.
Mm-hmm.
But it also immediately feels familiar. And that chord progression we just listened to was like a huge part of that.
Yeah.
I will link to a TikTok video by Bridget Kalin, who does a ton of amazing videos. But like that chord progression is used in several very popular songs
Yeah.
that we all know.
Yep.
So it's just like embedded in our brain and feels comforting
Familiar.
and familiar.
Yeah. I knew it.
Yeah.
I knew it. Yeah.
I knew it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I think like the acoustic version for me is where I was just like, I just know that Taylor and Jack were just like, they
Having fun.
basically were like, just do it on a harpsichord. Why not? Do a harmonica. Add a Celesta in there. Like they were just having way too much fun. So here's a little sample of the acoustic version.
I knew it, I knew you. I knew you. All the rivers I cried when we said goodbye, wondering if I'd made it up in my mind, but you looked me in the eye.
It's like they were just like having so much fun with that.
Yeah.
So
I also really appreciate it whenever she does separate vocal takes for the different versions.
mm-hmm.
You know, it's not just like remixed. Like they actually re-record it and like, you know, she sings it a little bit differently here and there.
Yeah.
I personally love the piano version. If I really want to cry, I'm going to put on the piano version. Okay.
Yeah.
Like the strings. So here's a snippet of that.
Wearing that same smile, yeah, it's been a while, but I knew it, I knew you. I knew it, I knew you.
Yeah. Cut the cameras.
I knew it, I knew you.
I love the way she sings that part right there.
I knew you. I knew it.
Yeah. Cut the cameras.
This is why I was a mess during this episode, but that's fine. Yeah, I love that version.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. So like I had all three versions in a playlist and I was just repeat like, you know, those like 2 weeks in June. Like I bet you I Knew It, I Knew You is going to be one of my top songs of 2026.
Yeah, it probably will be. Yep, it probably will be.
I round up at the end of the year and I only listen to it
just like
a lot for like 2 weeks.
Yeah. Just be like me and don't pay attention to your yearly unwrap, whatever, because mine's screwed anyway. So, yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
All right. Favorite lyrics. I just have to say from the jump, like, this is my favorite lyric.
I knew you through the days of the blades of the grass in summer. Parachutes for the free fall of being younger.
She just ate it up with that. Like she immediately set the tone of what this song is. So,
yeah. What rating did you give it?
I gave it an 8 out of 10. I want it to be longer. And I love the production. But, you know, I'd probably bump it up to like 8.2.
Yeah.
I'm going to bump it up to 8.2. Yeah, I'm 8.2.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where I'm at.
Okay. I gave it an 8.5. For me, it has like a lot of like emotional weight.
Mm-hmm.
But I also just love it. I actually think it might be the perfect length.
Okay.
It's like it leaves you wanting more, you know?
True. Yeah.
You don't get like tired of it. I feel like it holds my interest the whole time. Yeah. I love it.
Yeah.
But it's also like, it's so weird having a single like this that's not part of an album.
Right.
It just feels like an orphan, you know?
Yeah. Where does it
It need,
belong?
yeah,
Yeah.
where does it go? Yeah, I gave it an 8.5. And then this is my favorite lyric.
But love has ways of bringing things back to life. All you said was hi.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that part. So,
Stunning.
yeah, it's a cute song. Nice little treat for us to come back with.
Mm-mm. All right. This song is a recipe. I you know what? Screw mine. I'm co-signing yours.
Okay. So this song is a recipe is meadow tea, which
Yeah.
I
And if you know,
guess
you know.
if you know, you
Yeah.
know. But this would actually also be a great pairing for the song 7.
Yes.
So, anyway, if you don't know what we're talking about, because apparently it's a Pennsylvania Dutch thing, meadow
Yep.
tea is an iced mint tea where you take a whole crap ton of mint from your garden in the summer and you steep that, turn it into tea, you chill it, you add probably way too much sugar,
Yeah.
and you drink that.
But it's not a mint tea. It's like it's more than that. It's like I don't know how to describe it. Like
Well,
I
it's a
know it's
specific
just
kind of
mint.
mint. Like, it's not like peppermint. It's like a
Right.
sweet mint.
Yeah.
More like a spearmint, I guess.
It's like the mint that grows in like the meadows here in Pennsylvania. Like I don't know how else to describe it.
Yeah,
It's really good though.
right.
It's great. So,
I love mint tea. My grandma
me
used to
too.
make mint tea every day. So it was a plantation mint
Nostalgic
was her
treat.
favorite.
Yeah. Love it.
So yeah.
Yeah, mine originally was sweet tea, but
Yeah.
meadow tea is definitely more appropriate in my brain. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's the
All
correct
right, you
answer.
guys. Wild recap of our lives.
Yeah, crazy re-entrance.
Yeah, we're back.
We're back, we're crying,
We're
everything's
back.
on par.
Yeah.
We're getting
Yeah.
emotional,
Mhm.
talking about
Mhm.
Taylor. Yeah,
Yeah.
but we'll
So,
have more coming soon.
yeah, thanks to all of you for joining us. And if you'd like to support the pod, please make sure you're following us at Blank Plate Pod on TikTok and Instagram. And subscribe to our channel on YouTube. We're monetized, but we'd love to have you there. So
Yeah.
thank you
Check
to
out
all
our
of you who
reaction
have
videos.
subscribed. Yeah.
Yes. If you'd like to get in touch, please reach out via email at blankplatepod@gmail.com. And you can also text us or leave us a voicemail at 717-382-8313. We actually had a text from Richard come through while recording. So, what's up, Richard?
Hello.
Thanks for always reaching out.
And if you're enchanted by what we're doing here, please consider supporting us on Patreon, which is where we do all our monthly bonus episodes focusing on Taylor's older music. You can find the link to our Patreon in our show notes, or you can go there directly at patreon.com/blankplatepodcast.
And until next time, we had the time of our lives with you.
And it's time to go.
So bye.
Bye.